What up, y'all? It's your boy J-Mo.
My name is David McFadden, a.k.a. DJ Dowdy.
This your boy Vaughn.
This is Carl.
It's your boy Tomo, man, a.k.a. Next Level Tomo, a.k.a. your favorite Cowboys fan, a.k.a. I don't even know why I still root for the Wizards, but I'm a Wizards fan.
This is the #1 Wizards fan, Devin, and you're now watching
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to lose with my man Joe. We refuse to lose.
All right. Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports, man. We're excited today. My name is Joe Jordan. I'm your host. I got my good man Dave here with me. What's up, Dave? How you doing?
What's up, Joe? Feeling good, man. How you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing good. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be me and David today. We're gonna be duking it out, man, one-on-one. This is it's like a one-on-one basketball game. So we're gonna see who wins today. All right. So I'm excited about today. We got a lot to talk about. But look, y'all, first off, before we get started, make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, share this video with somebody that y'all know personally so they can come on and watch live with us. Use that comment section. We can see all the comments you guys will be putting down throughout the show, right? So use that comment section. We would appreciate that, all right, because we're going to communicate with you guys throughout the show. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like it, share it. If you're on Twitter, make sure you like and share it. But we are on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube live right now. All right. So we're going to get this show started, man. Let's get this show on the road. So look, now my man Brian Robinson, right, in DC, had a situation. He had a situation where, you know, got shot multiple times, do a attempted carjacking in DC off 8th Street, off the 1000 block of 8th Street Northwest. Pretty sure a lot of you guys that's from the DMV area are familiar with that corner, right? Not a lot going on in that corner, but hey, it happened, and it's sad to say, but we're going to just address the topic of our reaction, because I feel like, you know, it wouldn't be right if we don't start off with this. I watch a lot of sports networks, and a lot of people didn't even talk about it. So we're going to talk about it because it's a huge deal, and both of us are from the DC area. So I'm going to start with you, Dave. Just give me your reaction of the news when you first heard it.
When I first heard it, from on, I was just thinking, man, I just sound like something the DMV would do. It's a little ridiculous, but if you grow up in the DMV, you pretty much know. But it reminded me of the same situation that happened to Cameron some years ago when he came down and he got robbed for his car. So it's just sad that, you know, even players that play for our home team, whether you root for them or not, it's just a sad situation. It's not something that should be going on, and it's just a bad representation of the city. We know for a while that, you know, DC was considered a murder capital. So just to think about the way just to think about that and how things are going now, it's just like, you know, like we can't catch a break. Football players can't catch a break. Basketball players can't catch it. It doesn't matter. They don't care who you are. If they think you got money, they're gonna do whatever they can to take it from you. And it's sad. There's opportunities out here for people to get what they want, but they'd rather take it rather than earn it. So I think that's just sad.
Yeah, man. My initial reaction, I was pissed off at DC. You know, first of all, like Javon said in the chat, he ain't even played a game yet. So he hasn't even played a game yet. He's a rookie, and not only he's a rookie, he is a rising. Like, he actually took in my opinion, he took the he took the RB1 spot from Antonio Gibson. You know, so he actually played well in the preseason, and I believe personally he was bound to have a good rookie season, you know, because we're going to run the ball heavily this year. But obviously, like they said, the suspects are 17 and 15 years old. So they're minors. Both of them are minors. And obviously, both of them probably didn't know who he was. One thing about NFL, we don't know, you know, a lot of times you don't know the faces of these players unless they're like star players because they're constantly wearing helmets.
Fast.
So a lot of these people don't know who these players are in the streets. I'm not sure what kind of car he had, then look that up. But let me say this though, David. All right, and it's to not just DC, but to everywhere where there's crime. All right, I believe that stealing is probably the weakest thing you can do as a human being. You're basically taking something from somebody that they earned. So you're telling me that I work hard, I work night and day, I make this money to buy this car. I created the discipline to save up to buy this vehicle. And I'm out, maybe buying something to eat with the money I paid for. I go back to my car and you're trying to take what I work hard for. You're trying to take a shortcut for you to get a gain. You want to take my stuff. I believe that's the weakest thing you can do. I've never stolen anything from anybody. Never done. I've been robbed a few times. I'm pretty sure you have too. You live in DC, you probably got robbed. All right. So I've been robbed a couple of times, few times, right? So, but the thing is, when you take something from somebody they earned, that's so weak in my opinion. I don't care who's hearing this. That's my opinion. I believe it's a weak move when you steal from another human being, another person. Now, I'm not for stealing from corporations, but you do what you want to do. That's a corporation. They got extra, all that stuff. But you steal from a human being who worked hard for that thing they have, and you try to take that from them, that's a weak move. All right. And I just think it's sad because they probably didn't know who it was, but once they found out who it was, it's somebody who's trying to represent your city.
Mm-hmm.
This he's not from DC. This dude, and he went to school now. I think he went to Alabama. So he's coming here to represent your city, and you take from him. Shot him. Could have cost him his life. And not only that, he's a running back. You shoot him in the lower body.
Exactly. So that affects his ability to be able to play the sport. Who knows what he's going to be, how he's going to be when he comes back. I mean, now I don't know a player that was shot and came back to play and did well. I don't know. If you someone knows, just put it in the chat because I'm not sure. But that's just, and like you said, it's his first season.
Yeah, rookie.
He played in preseason games. He hasn't even had a chance to really make the money that he worked his butt off to get, and to have someone take it from you, and to have it from someone from your own race as well.
Yeah,
try to take it from you. That makes it even worse, man. Because now it was like we already have this bad stigma, talking about black on black crime, but we know there's crime in all races. But come on, you're not making it any better by doing something like that. And then you're 15 and 17 years old. Like it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. I don't get it. I've never understood it myself growing up. Growing up in Southeast, I've never understood why it was okay.
For those who don't know what Southeast is, Southeast DC. It's in the south. It's in the corner for a reason. It's Southeast, right? But the thing is that it's the parenting at the end of the day. It's the parenting and it's the environment. And the environment comes with the neighborhood. And who creates the environment in the neighborhood? The parents and the adults in the neighborhood. They set the standard for what the neighborhood is supposed to be. And it's cool to be, tough. It's cool to rob somebody. It's cool to get in fights. It's cool to do stuff like that in DC. When somebody get into a fight, it's a cool thing. Like you tough. All right. Like everybody's out there proving themselves on how tough they are, which I think is the stupidest thing in the world. The older I get, the more I realize, man, we gotta count our blessings and we gotta treat others with respect. We have to, because at the end of the day, I have kids. One day my kids, God willing, will grow up to be Brian Robinson Jr.'s age. And if that would happen to my kid, I'll be upset. So I can only imagine I'm not sure what his parents are going through. But the whole thing is that it got to stop, man. Of course it won't stop, but it has to be a conscious effort to reduce the violence in the DMV area. There's no way why the nation's capital, this is the capital of the United States, is one of the most violent places in the world. Listen, I moved to Rhode Island. I was talking to my wife the other day, Heidi, and David. I came home from DC. I went to DC, whatever, hoop with a couple of guys. You know what I mean? Was giving it to him. You feel me? I was out there balling, anyways. But I got home late, like at 2 a.m, and where I live, I got to park on the street. There was no parking on the street at all. So I had to park like 2 blocks away. If I was in DC and I had to park 2 blocks away and walk to my house, I'm not scared of nothing, but I'm on my P's and Q's. I'm on my head like this. I gotta walk on the side of the street where the car's coming towards me. If I see a guy walking down the street, I gotta go on the other side of the street. Little stuff like that I gotta pay attention to. But in Rhode Island here, I was just worrying about seeing a coyote. You know, like so like I would rather worry about seeing a coyote versus seeing a man with a ski mask. You feel me? Or a car that's driving slow. Forget a car driving slow. Any car, you know how it is. You walking in DC and it's late. Any car go by, it's a potential robbery, and you gotta be in your P's and Q's. So it gotta be like as parents, as adults, people who don't have kids, we have to make a conscious effort to reduce the violence. Because most likely I will be moving back, and I got kind of comfy here. You know what I mean? Like I gotta go back to the hell on the swivel when I move back. So. I just think it's sad, man. I think it's sad.
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
why people destroy their neighborhoods instead of building them up. It's true, Kevin.
That's a fact.
That's true. That's 100% fact. All right, so, all right, man. Let's get to our next topic. All right, so, but before we get to the next topic, we gotta go on a break. But we're going to talk about this guy, Tom Brady. All right, we come back.
Yo, my name is Lambo Anlo.
This is Dimitri. This is Ed Han.
My name is Daryl Julian, and this is
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
All right, David. So look, Tom Brady. Well, every year they do the top NFL 100 players, and the players actually vote. And Tom Brady was voted the number 1 player in the NFL from last year. All right, didn't win MVP, didn't win a Super Bowl, but yeah, he was still number 1. All right, so we gotta address this, David. Was Tom Brady deserving of the number 1 spot? All right, so I'm gonna kick this one off. No, he was not. All right, my number 1 player is Cooper Kupp, man. I think Cooper Kupp should have been the number 1 person on our list. Now, if you want to put a quarterback, we might disagree right here, David. I will put Tom Brady over Aaron Rodgers if we put in a quarterback. All right, and I have my reasons. I'm not sure who you got. We'll see, but I might have to backfire. I don't know. But as far as Cooper Kupp, now I want to know: is this based off last year? Is it based off like the last 3 years? Because I listened to some shows, and a lot of people said Cooper Kupp shouldn't have been number 4. He only has done it 1 year. But this is about last year, I thought. So if it's about last year, I'm giving it Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp earned a triple crown. All right, triple crown. He led the league in TDs, receiving yards, and receptions. And second place in each category was a different receiver, David. It wasn't like it was one person on his tail. It was a different. Devontae Adams, I believe, was second in receptions. I believe Mike Evans was second in TDs, and I forgot who was second in receiving yards. But it was a different person.
It was
second
Debo.
tier. It was Debo. All right, Debo Samuels, right? Second tier, but Cooper Kupp won all 3. Not only that, he carried on to the playoffs. They destroyed the Cardinals. They played Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, And who made the clutch plays at the end of the game to win the game? It was Cooper Kupp. He caught those 2 receptions to get them in field goal range to win that game. And then you look in the Super Bowl. Who was the guy that won them the Super Bowl? Now, some people might say Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald did make some plays, but Cooper Kupp made the play to get the points on the board for them to win that game. I think on that last drive, and if I'm not mistaken, he had either 5 or 6 receptions. I'm not mistaken. It was something like that, something crazy on the last drive, right? That he just took over that last drive, got the touchdown, and he won Super Bowl MVP. So not only he was a Triple Crown player who should have, in my opinion, won MVP last year, not Aaron Rodgers, Cooper Kupp also wins Super Bowl MVP. So in my opinion, the best player on that list should have been Cooper Kupp. But if you want to take away his because he's a receiver, he's relying on others, then I'm not going to lie, I agree with Tom Brady. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, so I agree with it being Cooper Kupp being number 1. I thought that he deserved to be number 1 overall. I mean, he had the most historic season of a receiver, of any receiver in NFL history. He had 22 touchdowns as a receiver, 22, 23 touchdowns as a receiver.
Mm-hmm. He only had 16.
16. Well,
yeah, he had 16.
Still, he led the league in touchdowns, led the league in receiving yards, and I mean, Debo had 1,400 receiving yards, maybe. He wasn't close to what Cooper Kupp had. And then catches, Devontae wasn't close to what Cooper Kupp had. Devontae only had 90 something?
All right, Cooper Kupp had 1,900. Justin Jefferson was second.
Okay.
16. Devontae was third. Jamar was fourth. Debo was fifth.
Okay. So I was definitely wrong on that one. But still, it's how do you not give someone that won a Triple Crown and was the best receiver in the playoffs last year and the Super Bowl? Like, he dominated every game he was in. Cooper Kupp was the reason why they got to the NFC Championship game too. Remember, he made the key catches in the NFC Championship game against my San Francisco 49ers. And then, of course, Donald made the plays in the end, but if it wasn't for Cooper Kupp, and plus, we were a Jaquowski Tart interception away from beating them in that game. And I don't see how you give it to anybody else. I get it. The quarterback is the most important player on the team, but Cooper Kupp is the reason why the Rams won the Super Bowl. He's the reason why they went as far as they did. Of course, they had Matt Stafford that helped out, but Matt Stafford wasn't even in the MVP conversation in there. So there's no point of even giving it to anyone else other than Cooper Kupp. Now, here's where I may disagree, though.
Okay, let's get it.
Based off of last season, since Aaron Rodgers did win the MVP, I believe he should have been ranked ahead of Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I get it that Brady had a great year, and at his age, yes, I get it. But Aaron Rodgers won MVP.
Mm-hmm.
MVP, number 1 seed again, even though they lost. It's the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have put him ahead of Brady because he won MVP. I mean, I can't really say anything else. He won MVP, back-to-back MVP, and it's based off of last season. Based off of last season, if you put it based off of last season, Aaron Rodgers was the better quarterback last year. Now, that's just what I say about that. I think Aaron Rodgers deserved to be better, to be ahead of Tom Brady, but I don't think it's like a big issue if you put Brady ahead of him because look at what he did at his age, 45 years old, over 4,000 yards in the playoffs, had another playoff win, probably would have faced the 49ers in the NFC Championship game if it wasn't for the Rams. So.
Mm-hmm. So I think Brady should go over him. All right. Now, Brady led the NFL in passing yards and TDs. Right? Passing yards, Aaron Rodgers was 10th in the NFL. All right. The reason why Aaron Rodgers won MVP because they were the number 1 seed. If they were never the number 1 seed, he was not going to win MVP because he did not have an historic season. Now, granted,
they had the number 1 seed and he didn't throw double-digit interceptions.
He had 4 interceptions. I give you that. He had 4 interceptions, 37 touchdowns. I get you that. you know. But if they were not the number 1 seed, he was not winning the MVP. So it was more like, because nobody that year had a historic season. You had people like Jonathan Taylor who went off, but they didn't make the playoffs. You had Cooper Kupp who had a great season, but they never would give MVP to a receiver. They just won't do that. So nobody defensively besides Trayvon Diggs, but then he got burnt up too many times, and they definitely not gonna give no MVP to a defensive player. So they gotta give it to a quarterback or a running back. But the running back that was actually good didn't make the playoffs. So they gave it to Aaron Rodgers all the strength of, to me. Him and Tom Brady playing in the same conference. Tom Brady, they both had good seasons, but Aaron Rodgers won number 1 seed. Tom Brady did what he did with Chris Godwin missing games, Gronk missing games, AB not even playing half the season, Leonard Fournette missed some games. All that stuff happened, and Tom Brady still led the league in touchdowns and receiving passing yards. Get to the playoffs, he gets a W, and lose to the Rams by a field goal at the end of the game when Aaron Rodgers, who gets to the playoffs, did not even throw a touchdown in the playoffs when he was a number 1 seed. So I got to take away stock from Aaron Rodgers for that playoff performance. You know, so for real, like I said, Aaron Rodgers won MVP by default. But I think Tom Brady, if you want to give it to a quarterback, he played the best football last year as a quarterback, in my opinion.
That's a good argument. Plus, I guess to kind of throw it in there too, Aaron Rodgers had the number 1 seed back-to-back seasons and lost both games. So, but I'm still gonna go A-Rod.
Yeah, A-Rod tough.
But A-Rod, I mean, 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. It's hard to go an entire season and only throw 4 picks.
That's true, though. That's true. I mean, when you 10th in passing yards, you're not throwing the ball that much. I get it. You can throw 4 picks. You only throw 4 picks. No, he was 10th in passing yards. I mean,
not his fault. He got 2 good running backs back there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's another. I mean, and then he had the best receiver in the world, Devontae Adams. You know, so I mean, I like Aaron Rodgers, but I think Tom Brady. If you want to give it to a quarterback, deservedly so, Tom Brady. At first, I was like, nah, and then after I thought about it, I was like, if you give it to a quarterback, it would be Brady. It shouldn't be Rodgers because he won MVP. The media voted that. Don't forget that. The media voted him be MVP. The players voted this one. You know, so and maybe it's the Rodgers hate. People like Brady more than Rodgers, I guess. I mean, probably. So I don't know, but I'll pick Brady though.
Rodgers don't help himself out.
He don't, especially with that vaccine situation. He just, you know.
No need to lie. Just be honest, man.
Joe, come on, you need to add more context. I mean, did you not hear the context? I said he did this without Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin did miss 3 games. All right, not a lot, but it was still 3. Gronk only played 12 games, so he missed 5 games. AB only played 7. AB played 7 games. And Leonard Fournette, I'm not sure how many games he played, but he missed some games too. And in the playoffs, he missed his offensive line. I know the Rams committed turnover and all that stuff, but Aaron Rodgers didn't even throw a touchdown in the playoffs. Not a touchdown. So if I'm going to give it to a quarterback, I'm going to give it to Tom Brady. Yeah, it was fumbling. You're right. Yeah, they were fumbling. They
were close to getting blown out in that game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers just went against a top 5 defense, so he can't beat us when it comes to the playoffs. It's just it's kryptonite. So
can't beat nobody in the playoffs ever since 2009.
Oh, okay. Well, except Dallas.
Except that. That was good. All right. Speaking of Dallas, we got to talk about Dallas. All right. Tyron Smith got an injury. We're going to talk about it when we come back.
What's up, y'all? This is Dennis Garland Jr.
It's your boy Michael Redwood, a.k.a. Big Mike.
This is DeVore. My name is Teddy Mercado, and you're watching
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports. Refuse to Lose Sports. Let's go!
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living in different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose. built to win. Applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
Oh my gosh, I was on mute. I'm over here talking like crazy. How worried should the Cowboys be with Tyron Smith being out until December?
I think they should be worried. It doesn't matter how worried you are; they should definitely be worried. Whether you believe Tyron Smith has been good these last few years, I mean, he's missed games every year, like with the last 5 years. So it's not like you didn't expect him to just miss some games, but now he's out for a long time. And the guy you have replacing him is what they drafted him last year, I believe. Last year, this year, Josh Ball. It's your weak side. It's the weak side. The weak side is the side that you need to protect at all times, because, I mean, the best offensive lineman in the league is Trent Williams, and that's because he's a left tackle. He protects the weak side, and he can guard. It's hard to be able to get past him. He doesn't allow a lot of sacks or a lot of hits. So, and then Tyron Smith is a Pro Bowl player. He's going to be a Hall of Famer soon.
He will.
So you got pretty much a rookie in there replacing a Hall of Famer, and the fact week one he's going against the Buccaneers, who has a really good front seven. So I think they should be worried. Not even just the offensive line. They got receivers that they got to worry about as well, because they lost some that receiver, but definitely at left tackle. If you want Dak to have a successful season, if you really think Zeke is going to be able to at least average 75, 80 yards a game, you need someone like Tyron Smith out there. And who knows what Josh Ball can do, but he's definitely under a lot of pressure. The Cowboys are under a lot of pressure this year, and I don't think it's going to bode well for Josh Ball.
If you're a Cowboy fan, I apologize up front, okay? Because I'm about to go in.
I don't apologize. I don't like the Cowboys at all.
D Dallas fan ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. So look, did some research, right? Kind of knew this already, but I just want to make sure I was correct. All right. Listen to this, David. Since 2019, all right, Dak Prescott has played 12 games without Tyron Smith. In those 12 games, he's 7-5, right? That's 13. That's 12 games we talked about. Out of those 12 games, he only played 3 playoff teams. All right? In those 3 playoff teams, he was 0-3. 5 TDs, 7 interceptions.
What? That's not good.
Now, somebody might say, but Joe, he almost averaged 400 yards a game.
That's garbage yards.
Do you know why, David? In those 3 games, the combined halftime score was 56-18. So all Dak does, so I'm not worried because Tyron Smith out. I'm worried, not worried, I don't care. Is Dak needs things around him to be good for him to be great. I don't trust Dak. I think Dak is overrated. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think they say he was top 10. Like I said, I put somebody like Derek Carr over Dak Prescott. You may disagree. That is my opinion, right? I think that Derek Carr is more proven than Dak Prescott, all right? Now, look, Dak Prescott. So, 56-18 at halftime. That's not including the Jets game when they lost to the Jets, when the score was 21-6 at halftime. That's not including the Broncos game last year when the score was 19-0 going to the fourth quarter. But we're not going to talk about that. So, when things aren't great around Dak Prescott, with Tyron Smith being out, things go wild, go away. Think about his first 2 years in the league. He was carried by Zeke Elliott. We all know that. Right? His third year in the league, he was carried by Amari Cooper. Remember when they was terrible until they got Amari Cooper and they just took over Amari Cooper? In 2019, they went 8-8. And people might blame Zeke Elliott. A lot of people blame Zeke Elliott on that. Zeke Elliott that year had 6 100-yard games that year. All right? Every time Dallas lost, Zeke didn't get 100 yards, meaning Dak didn't show up. Zeke had 100 yards one game when they lost. That was against the Jets when Dak Prescott didn't even throw a touchdown. So Dak is not that guy. When things have to be good around him for him to be great. Dak beats up on bad teams. He beats up on bad teams at the end of the day.
He got that contract because he went 3-0 against bad teams, and everyone kept saying, I don't think he deserves it. And now look, $75 million quarterback and got beat in the first round of the playoffs last year.
Listen to this, Dave. Watch this. Since 2019, Dak is 19-13. That's his record, 19-13. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good, Joe. He's not bad. He's 19-13. Do you know that he played 18 non-playoff teams and was 15-3? People that made the playoffs, he was 4-10. Those 4 wins, right? 3 of them were against the Eagles, and 1 was against the Patriots last year, who we all know that team was. Look what happened to them in the playoffs. They got tore by the Bills, all right?
Yeah.
So Dak Prescott, right? Dak Prescott, not only he's missing Tyron Smith, he's missing Michael Gallup, he's missing James Washington, he's missing Amari Cooper, who people ain't talking about. Amari Cooper was his lifesaver. It's going to be different without Amari Cooper. It's going to be different from CD without Amari Cooper. It's going to be different for Gallup without Amari Cooper. I'm telling y'all, Amari Cooper was the guy that was getting double. I don't know how, speaking of that top 100, how does CD make the list but not Terry McLaurin? Terry McLaurin is the only receiver in our division that had 1,000 yards the last 3 seasons without a quarterback. Only receiver. Nobody, and that's including Amari Cooper. Nobody in the division had 1,000 yards for 3 years in the last 3 years. Terry McLaurin's the only one. That's not there though. I'm not even going on that. I saw that. I was so upset. Why? Somebody get pissed off. So no Michael Gallup, no James Washington, no Amari Cooper. You got a declining Zeke Elliott.
No Cedric Wilson.
No Cedric Wilson. You see what I'm saying? So and we really think, and people actually think they're gonna win this division. Yeah. Do y'all know nobody has won back-to-back division titles in that division in the last 17 years? No one has done that in the last 17 years. Cowboys ain't doing this year. Cowboys barely made it to playoff last year, but Joey was 12-5. Yeah, they beat 2 playoff teams all last year, who were the Eagles, who weren't really a playoff team. Oh, sorry, Kevin. And the Patriots, the 2 worst playoff teams in the playoffs. Both of them got smoked in the playoffs. Probably Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, you probably throw in there too. So my thing is, they in trouble. I had them finish 9-8, but they're not making the playoffs. I'm willing to put money up that they're not making playoffs this year. All right, they're not even gonna make it as a wild card. So Dallas should be worried. They should be worried.
Yeah, they should. I mean, I thought that it was bad when they gave up Amari Cooper for just a 6th-round pick. I said, "Oh, okay, that is ridiculous." I mean, that man is one of the best route runners in the league, and the fact that you didn't, I agree. I don't see how Terry McLaurin didn't make the top 100 list. That was mind-boggling to me. That was a little ridiculous. I mean, but the boy Michael Parsons made it though. He deserved it. I ain't gonna lie.
He deserved it. He was 14, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that boy tough. That boy is starting to make it. He is starting to make it, man. But sorry, Cowboys. Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, Michael Parsons, he definitely deserved to be on there. I don't know if he should have been 14 though. He was 14 on that list, right? On the top of my head.
But if you think about it though, when Nick Bosa made the top on his after his rookie year, he was number 17. He was top 20.
He was. Yeah, Michael Parsons was the dog, man. Especially that second half of the year. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They put that man on the line. They were like, "What? We didn't know he can do this." They put that man on the line. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. But
college State, he was doing that. He was doing that in Penn State. He was balling out in Penn State. So
yeah, he's gonna be a problem this year too. And Jerry Jones keeps saying that they're gonna run it through Zeke, declining Zeke Elliott. I mean, I do think Zeke could have had a better year last year if they would have ran the ball. But do you really trust Kellen Moore?
No.
Now look, if you don't like the Cowboys, you want to hope that they get they play a bad team, and Dak throw 5 touchdowns. You want that to happen, Because what's gonna happen is they're gonna think Dak is this big dude, this big star, and they're gonna throw the ball like crazy. And that's, you know, back to having 17-9 games against playoff teams, scoring 9 points and stuff like that. So I think that the person that's really holding them back is Dak Prescott. Tyron Smith is out, but when you have injuries, that's when your quarterback supposed to elevate you. Think about Aaron Rodgers. Carl mentioned it. Cardinals game. He's missing some offensive linemen. He's missing some receivers. Still going there and beat the Cardinals. That's what you do.
The Cardinals were undefeated at that time too.
Undefeated. Tom Brady, same thing. Like I mentioned, he had injuries all last year. Made it work at the end of the day. You know, that's what good quarterbacks do. Good quarterbacks, when things are not perfect, the great quarterbacks make up for those the lack of others helping you. They make up for that. But that needs others to do to be great for him to be who he is. Like last year. Like he had one of the best receiving cores last year. Best receiving cores. But yeah. They only got CD right now, and we all know he got Butterfingers. Yeah, he definitely do. I don't know the stats, Carl. I know you said he statistically had a better season. I don't know the stats. I gotta look at it. But did he have 1,000 yards last year? I don't know. I don't think did he? I mean, let me know. My man Scary Terry did. That's all I gotta say. All right. So, but we're gonna go to your squad, David. We gotta talk about your squad next. You know, your guy Jimmy G. You know, we gotta talk about is it a good move to keep him in the organization? We'll talk about it next.
Hey, you already know who it is, man. It's Lamar, a.k.a. L to the second letter to the crooked letter.
My name is Joseph.
My name's Jamal, and you're watching
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Bond that can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living in different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah, no time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah, refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah, no time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah, refuse.
All right, so Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch decided to keep Jimmy G as a backup quarterback behind Trey Lance. So we got to talk about, is this a good idea for them to do this? So David, this is your squad. So we're going to start off with you. Was it a good move to keep Jimmy G?
So I'm gonna talk about the perspective first before I talk about how I think about this. So it could be two reasons why they kept him. One, if they don't trust Trey Lance. That could be the first reason. They don't trust him, and they think that he may mess up sometime this year, and they're going to switch and go back to Jimmy G. That's the one that I think. It's either they don't trust him or they don't trust the backups either. You know, because you got, I think we let go Nate Sutfield, and we have Brock Purdy back there, who had a pretty good preseason, but, you know, he going against second and third string because we don't think he's going to be able to play that way against the first stringers. The other one is they restructured his contract so that he's more tradable now that he's able to throw, and he's cheaper. They could probably get maybe a third or a fourth for him just because he's healthy. You know, some quarterback's going to get hurt sometime soon, and somebody might get desperate and want to get Jimmy G. Now, I think that they did this basically just because of the contract. Because when he first got injured, when he got injured, he didn't immediately get surgery right when the offseason started. He waited until it got close to minicamp and he got surgery. He did that for a reason, because him and his agent wanted to make sure that they were still on the team. They didn't want him to get traded to just a random team. They wanted to put him in the best position possible to win. That was before the Browns had traded for Deshaun Watson. That was a destination that he was going to go to because, they didn't believe in Baker Mayfield, and a lot of people would say that Jimmy G's Baker 2.0 maybe. But I'll say this though, I don't think Jimmy G is a bad quarterback, but he is not the answer for your franchise. I'll put it that way. His completion percentage is good in the regular season. He's 68%, almost 70% completion percentage in the regular season. That's not the issue. The issue is when it comes to playoff time. He's only 58% completion percentage in playoffs, and we all know that we were able to make it to the Super Bowl with him only throwing 8 passes against the Vikings in the playoffs. So that's because we didn't trust him. He made one throw that was questionable, and they were like, "All right, look, we just going." You're only going to throw the ball 8 times this game. We're going to run the ball heavy because they can't stop the run anyway. So, and then they traded 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance to be able to get his opportunity to start. He only started 2 games last year, and that's because of injury last year to Jimmy G. He didn't play well in the first game against the Cardinals, but he was thrown in that game. He didn't really have time to prepare for that game. He played better when we played against the Texans. This preseason, he played pretty well other than the last game against the Texans. Preseason, he only played 2 drives. It wasn't that well, but I believe that Trey Lance is the answer for our franchise. He has a better arm. He's a bigger threat when it comes to everything else that the offense runs around. It's the West Coast offense, so you want to be able to run the ball with your quarterback or your running back. It's kind of like how it was when they had RG3. Now, I think he's bigger than RG3, so he can take hits, and he also knows how to slide, so we don't have to worry about that. But when I first heard it, I was upset because I was like, all right, they don't believe in Trey. They want Jimmy G to pretty much stay on the team, but I think they're doing it because they still want to get some value from him. They didn't want to just cut him, although it would have saved them $26 million if they just cut him before the season started. They still were able to save $17 million because he only has $6.5 million guaranteed. So they were still able to save some money. That money's going to go to Nick Bosa because he's due for a contract, and then that'll help out with Trey. And plus, he's a good backup. So if something does happen to Trey as far as like injury, you got Jimmy G that can step in and help out, and that could boost his trade value as well. So that's my team.
So I know you said when you first heard it. So how you feel now?
Yeah, I feel like now they only did it just because of the contract, and so he can have good trade value, so they can get something from him.
But are you okay with that though?
Yeah, I'm still mixed feelings about it, but I'll be okay with it.
Now, question: is it the right decision to keep him?
I think it wasn't the right decision to keep him, but I understand it. You traded a 2nd-round pick for him. You want to get something for him, so I get it. I think it was a bad move, but hey.
Now, I think that good move for Jimmy, not a good move for y'all. And the reason why is because, so Jimmy G, he had an injury, obviously, and like he said, he had surgery doing it all, like right before training camp, basically. And now he gets a year to just 100% heal. That's how I look at it. While being the highest paid backup QB.
Facts.
Not only that, he has a no trade clause on his contract. So they can't just ship him to anywhere he wants. He will be truly a free agent after this season. He can go anywhere he wants. Mm-hmm. So that's that. That's good for Jimmy G. The reason why it's bad, I think, for for Kyle Shanahan, let me use him. And I love Kyle Shanahan. I remember last year you was mad at Kyle Shanahan. Remember that? I was like, hey Dave, y'all good. Yeah,
Kyle Shanahan. Highly upset. I was calling us to fire him and hire Eric Bieniemy. Even though I still like Bieniemy, I still think he deserves a job in the NFL. But
no, with Kyle,
I am okay with Kyle staying there. I'm glad he's there because now he has a weapon that he can use in Trey Lance, and I just can't wait to see it.
Now let me tell you why it's a bad decision. All right. Number one, you said it. Y'all gave up 3 first-round picks to get this guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I look at the Alex Smith situation. I think it's a good example. Kaepernick and Alex Smith. Alex Smith is like a Jimmy G, literally, right? But probably better. Yeah, what you
I think Alex Smith is better.
like?
He was able to run the ball, so he was better fit for West Coast offense.
The only difference is Alex Smith didn't get them to the Super Bowl. All right, he never did that. But Alex Smith was a winnable player. Like he has, look at his win percentage. He's one of the most winningest, whatever the hell you said. QBs during his tenure as a quarterback. And when they brought in Kaepernick, they knew they had Kaepernick. You know, he came in, but it was different though because he came in and he actually started playing good. And then once they knew they were rolling with Kaepernick, they got rid of Alex Smith immediately. They got rid of him because what's going to happen is you promised yourself to this guy because you gave these picks up for him. This is his first year starting in the league. So there's a high chance that he might have a bad start. And then when he has a bad start, not saying he will, if he has a bad start, the media is going to get involved. All right? They're going to be talking, should have kept Jimmy G. And guess what? People in the locker room is going to start feeling a certain way. We should have kept Jimmy G because at the end of the day, they trying to win right now. They got a roster for right now because y'all were there last year and 2 years before last year. So my thing is, you look at Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Once Aaron Rodgers became the starter, Brett Favre, you gone. See ya. That's every situation. I think it's the first time I ever seen a QB who actually led them to the NFC Championship and got benched the next year just because the guy you drafted was ready. It had nothing to do with Jimmy G's performance. It had everything to do with, we think he's ready. So if he's ready, roll with him and get rid of Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I look at it. So I think they keep him. They just love Jimmy G. Jimmy G must be a good guy. He must be. He must be a good locker room guy. I don't know. He's not. I mean,
I'll get on that. I'm gonna let you finish, but I'll
okay.
Get on.
I know I heard stories from the Pats when they were saying stuff about Jimmy G, but I know the 49ers, like John Lynch gave him a big old hug after he threw the interception and lost the game. You know, so they love Jimmy G. You know, so and he looking at it as there are 32 starters in the NFL and we got 2 of them. But I mean, having 2 starting QBs, what's the point of that? I mean, that means you're anticipating that Trey Lance is going to either get hurt or you anticipating like if he plays bad, I want to bench him, which would be a bad move. If Trey Lance start off bad and you put Jimmy G back in the game, that's going to be a terrible move. You got to just roll with Trey Lance because you already made your decision and you gave up these picks for him. So
you said it's his team, so you got to roll with him.
You got to roll with it, you know. And then you were so excited. This is the guy. You conned the whole league, man. Everybody seemed like you want to get Mac Jones, right? But all along, y'all try to make this feud. Remember they were saying John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan weren't agreeing with each other, but the whole time they both wanted Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to roll with your guy. So that's my take on it. I think it's a bad move. I think they should have got rid of Jimmy G.
Now, as far as Jimmy G being a good locker room guy,
okay,
he's great when it comes with the players during the season. In the off season, he doesn't contact anybody. They've said this multiple times. Coaches will try to contact him during the offseason. He doesn't answer his phone. George Kittle jokes about it, but he says that it's real. He doesn't answer his phone. He doesn't reach out to teammates. He doesn't talk to the new players and nothing like that. He doesn't do any of those things. That's why players in the Patriots didn't like him, and that's why players like Brandon Ayuk was happy that Trey Lance was coming in because he's like, hey, at least someone I can actually – because this whole offseason – Trey Lance and Brandon Ayuk were training together the entire offseason. So they had some chemistry that was built up. Now, of course, it would have been the same thing with Debo, but he had a contract situation. He was talking about he wanted to be traded, but really he just wanted the money. He believed he deserved the money because he wanted to be able to get paid because he's more than just a wide receiver. He's a wide back, a term that he came up with. He's able to do he's able to do it all. He can do a kick return, punt return. He's a good receiver, and he can play running back as well. But Jimmy G he's a good locker room guy during the season only, and he's not really a study guy either. So just because of that, I would have did what every other team has did when it came to the situation. I would have traded him away. I don't care what I would. And honestly, I believe they were offered a 2nd round pick for him before, and they rejected it. They wanted
a 2nd round pick and they rejected it.
they wanted 2 second-round picks for him, and I was like, no, he's not.
What are you tripping?
Yeah, so I would have let him go. Got off that contract and been able to. You would have been able to sign Debo at that time because you would have had $27 million freed up, and you'd have been able to sign Nick Bosa as well. So
they were offered a second-round pick for him.
They were offered a second-round pick for him, and they rejected because they wanted 2 second-round picks.
Oh, they tripping. But Jimmy G couldn't get traded though because he was hurt. He was hurt, and nobody was going to trade for him. And then by the time he had the surgery, he was ready to get traded. You had teams like the Seahawks. Who else out there? The Seahawks. The Browns already signed Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the Seahawks. Why trade for him when your team is not ready?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like a waste of a trade because you got to give up some draft capital. They have a lot of draft capital from the Broncos. So they're going to use that to rebuild their squad, find a quarterback maybe, you know. But trading for a quarterback, the only time you should trade for a quarterback when your team is ready.
Exactly. And Jimmy G, like I said, Jimmy G is not
make the playoffs.
Jimmy G will help your team make the playoffs, but he ain't getting you. He ain't gonna help you win a Super Bowl. That's my.
Yeah. The Seahawks come get Jimmy G. They ain't making the playoffs. They got the Rams to worry about, 49ers to worry about. You know, same division. And
plus,
then
I don't think we would have traded him within our division either because we don't like the Seahawks at all. So it's no point for us trading him within the division. So I didn't see that happening. The only way the Seahawks would have got him is if we cut him. If we cut him, then he probably would have had a chance to go to Seattle. Other than that, I doubt it.
I doubt if you want to go there. You want to go there. So, all right, cool. Jimmy G, staying with the 49ers. All right. So next we got to talk about this guy, Pat Bev. Does he upgrade the Lakers? We'll talk about it when we come back.
This is Kevo.
My name is Tyron.
This is Coach Coons, and you're watching
Refuse to Lose podcast.
To Refuse to Lose Sports.
We Refuse to Lose Sports.
No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm ready to win. Yeah, refuse. Bond it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes. They gon' take a few to lose. Built to win. Apply myself. I felt it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I felt it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm ready to win, yeah, refuse.
All right, the Lakers traded for Pat Bev a couple of days ago, maybe about last week, and he actually spoke it to existence. He had an interview early this summer, and he mentioned that if he gets traded to the Lakers, they will make it to the Western Conference Finals. That's a bold move right there. Also said the guy he wants to play with is LeBron James out of anybody in the NBA. So we're going to talk about, does he upgrade the Lakers roster? And if so, how much? And I got this right here. I'm going to kick this off right here. Now, yes, he improves the roster. All right? And the only reason why he improved the roster, not because he's a great player or anything like that, you know, but he's a better fit for the roster. You got THT. THT is he's better with the ball in his hands. Right, he's a better scorer than Pat Bev, right? Now, Pat Bev is a better role player. You know, he feels like that's what LeBron needs. He needs somebody going to sit in the corner and play defense, and that's exactly what Pat Bev is going to do. And Pat Bev, I don't think he's a great defender. I don't think he is. But what he would do is he would be aggressive, and he would go the extra mile to make that defensive play. So he will dive for the ball. He will reach on that when most people won't reach. You know, he will attempt this block. You know, like he will do what it takes to create defense to stop, and that brings energy and it rubs all the rest of your team. So that alone right there is going to help that team because that's what they lack. They lack defensive intensity, and Pat Bev would bring that. Now, what everybody's thinking about is how is this Westbrook and Pat Bev thing gonna work? I know that everybody think about. I mean, just 2 years ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago, he just said he already played defense. He's talked trash about his defense. You know, like he talked trash about his defense. Even last year, he called the Lakers trash last year when they played. Right, so that's gonna be the issue. Now, I do think Pat Bev, he a vet. You know, he's all about winning. He's all about, like, I think he's gonna come there and that. He said something too about them. He said it will work. He's not gonna trip. The one worry about is how Westbrook gonna be. Hopefully Westbrook can just put everything to the side and be on. But as long as Westbrook on that roster, they're not winning. At the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying because of Westbrook himself, he's just not a good fit for this team. He's not. So what they gonna do now? They're gonna play Pat Bev and Westbrook and LeBron and AD. First of all, Pat Bev ain't a great 3-point shooter. He shot 35%, which is okay, but great is more like a real good 3-point shooter is like 38, 39, 40%, I would say, or higher. That's what people are shooting nowadays that are good 3-point shooters. But De'Aaron Fox probably shot 35%. You consider him a great 3-point shooter? Nah. So that's my issue. That's my issue with the whole trade is that at the end of the day, they didn't upgrade tremendously. That, like he said, we can get to the Western Conference Finals. It's not that great. All right, but he did upgrade that roster though.
Yeah, I don't think they are Western Conference Finals. I don't think they're going to the Western Conference Finals just because they added Pat Bev. He ain't that big of a difference. Now, he is going to be hustling. He is going to show some more defensive intensity. That is one thing that he does. Now, I don't think he's a great defender, but he is a serviceable defender. He will do whatever. He will make key plays and key moments and stuff like that. So I will say that he will help out the defense. But
he will.
The roster is currently constructed. Heck no, they are not making Western Conference Finals. They're not better than Denver. Minnesota has a better roster. Memphis has a better roster. They're not making it to the Western Conference Finals now, unless some wild injuries happen to where all the star players in those teams go. Then yeah, okay, you may have a chance. But other than that, no. It's no. I understand you still got LeBron James, but you still got Anthony Street Close Davis. So who knows how that's going to work out with him? It wasn't until what. He didn't say he didn't touch the ball since April, and that was a little ridiculous. And LeBron's still gonna be LeBron. He's gonna do whatever he can to make sure he passes Kareem in points this year.
Yep.
But with the roster country, with Russ and Pat Bev, they're not making it to Western Conference Finals. I'm sorry. Russ needs to be on a team where he controls the offense. He's not going to be controlling the offense right now. Darvin Ham said himself, the ball is going to be in LeBron James's hand. He is the best ball handler on the team. So I'm making sure that he's the one controlling the offense. Russ has to play up and down the court. That's not what the Lakers team is built. They're not built. They don't have players that are able to run up and down the court and play both sides of defense. LeBron is at an age right now to where he can't do that all the time. He's still capable of it, but he can't do it night in and night out. So that's going to be an issue with that. And then Russ just got – unless they find a way to get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, there's no way that they're going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. Now, if they're able to add those two, then, yeah, I see that. But they want Russ. If they're going to get Russ, they want those 2 draft picks as well. And they honestly might ask for another player because Russ ain't enough. Because more than likely they're going to buy him out, and then where's Russ going to go? I don't know. I would have thought that maybe I don't know what team needs a point guard other than the Pacers right now. I don't even think the Pacers need a point guard because they have a young.
Come on, Russ.
Yeah, I mean
the best situation for Russ is the Lakers should work a trade to trade him to Utah. After not to get Donovan Mitchell, but to get him to Utah because Utah right now they tank. They got Danny Ainge, bro. They about to tank. They about to get these draft picks.
Exactly. They got Donovan Mitchell on the trade market. People want.
Yeah, they're gonna trade him.
So get him to Utah. Utah take him. I mean, that'll be some tickets for them to sell. Or at least they got somebody to come see him. But other than that, and then he might average a triple double again. Who knows? But no, as they're currently constructed, there's no way There's no way they're going to make it to the West Conference Finals. I don't see it at all.
Nah, West Conference Finals, nah. Now, somebody said they made the playoffs. Now, they could possibly make the playoffs. Now,
maybe as a 6th to 8th seed, but it ain't going to be nothing higher than that.
Yeah, because you got Phoenix. They're going to be a high seed still, but they're going to be a good regular season team. Denver's going to be there.
Phoenix, Denver, Golden State, Memphis, Minnesota. That's 5. That's 5 right there.
Dallas.
Dallas.
They're going to be there. Trade on to the Kings. No, we don't want. No, Utah don't need Russ. Utah is tanking. Russ has an expiring contract, so they trade for Russ. For 40, almost basically $50 million. 1 year left on his deal. Next year they got an extra $50 million in their cap space with draft picks. So they could make they could sign a big free agent and they could trade for a big splash. And no, we're not trading him to the Kings. And look, when basketball season come up, you Lakers fans, I might propose a bet to y'all Lakers fans. I'm feeling a little good about these Kings this year. At least more than y'all, than the Lakers. So just remind me when the NBA season start, I might propose a bet to these Lakers fans that we have a better record.
Yeah, and Carl, you're right. Russ his game is very inefficient. There's almost nothing he can do right offensively.
Yeah,
we all know he's not a good defender at all. So it's other than it, I don't know. He's a turnover machine. He can't shoot threes. He's not consistent with his mid range ain't there like how it used to be anymore. Even when he drives the ball, he not making the baskets when he drives the ball. I mean, he averaged 18, 8, and 8, but that ain't enough.
Yeah, don't send Russ to the Knicks. These dudes just gave RJ Barrett the bag, and they just traded for your guy for Cuz from the Mavericks. So why would they bring in Russ to mess that up?
They not trading Russ. They're not even Russ. Not even on their mind.
Russ got to go somewhere. If he get traded, it got to be somewhere where they don't care about the season, and that's Utah. Utah is the perfect spot for Russ. Nobody else going to trade for him.
Yeah, Utah, San Antonio is the only other spot because they don't have nobody either. They just gave away DeJounte Murray, so they don't have no point guard. So maybe San Antonio, but I doubt Greg Popovich wants to deal with Russell Westbrook.
If the Knicks they stupid, if the Knicks they stupid, the Knicks are stupid. That's funny. All right, enough about Russ. Let's go over this last topic, and we got to talk about this day. So the NBA players playing Pro-Am. We're going to talk about it when we come back. There's no commercial for this one. All right, so look. Chet Holmgren got an injury. Guarding LeBron doing a Pro-Am. And there's a lot of talks that should they even continue playing this with NBA players. All right, so you kick this all day. Should NBA players continue to play in these Pro-Am leagues over the summer?
I don't think NBA players should stop playing because a rookie got hurt doing a Pro-Am game for playing defense when most of the time when you're playing Pro-Am, you're not playing hard defense. You're pretty much letting other players do what they want. Now, the other players that are in the NBA, they are playing hard defense because they're playing against NBA stars, so they want to look good going against NBA stars. But you're the third round pick.
Third overall.
That's right, my bad. Third overall pick.
Actually,
OKC.
Actually, second. My bad. He was second overall.
Second. That's right. The other guy was third overall. So second overall pick to OKC. It's your first year. You played pretty good during the preseason, and I mean during the summer league. So, like, come on, like. I wouldn't cancel it. I mean, when was the last time we heard of a NBA player getting hurt during an NBA Pro-Am game, other than this? So I wouldn't cancel it. I would still like for them to come out now. Some may halt just because of that happened, but look at his stature. He's a small guy. He's a small kid playing basketball. He's what 6'11", 7 feet.
He's 7. He like 7'1", something like that. I think 7'2".
Not even 230.
No, he was like 190. I think.
Exactly. He's small. So and then what was he really going to be able to do in the NBA? He wasn't going to be able to guard nobody at that size. He's going to be a power forward or center on some in OKC. And power forwards and centers are they stocky. And look at what LeBron James did. LeBron is 6'8", but he's 250. So if he can't handle that, then there's no reason why he should be playing the pro-am game. He should be doing whatever he can to focus on trying to build some kind of muscle. Now he ain't gonna be able to build a lot because his shoulders, the way his body is built, he's not gonna be able to build a lot of muscle. He's kind of sort of like Kevin Durant, just the way his size. He's not gonna be able to really. He could at the most he can maybe go 210, 215, if so. But if he can get to that, that's good enough at his height to where he could be able to last longer in the NBA. But no, I don't. I personally wouldn't stop playing just because he got hurt. Because that's an anomaly. I don't remember the last time a player got hurt playing in the Pro-Am. And plus, this is the first time playing in the Pro-Am in a few years because of COVID. So, no, I'm not. I wouldn't stop. If I was an NBA player, I wouldn't stop playing because of that.
I'm with you. You don't stop because this flimsy dude got hurt. First of all, he's 7'2", 7'1". He's 2 feet taller than me, basically. No, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm 5'10". He's 7'1", 7'2". So it's like a foot and a half almost. And then he probably like 10 pounds, 15 pounds bigger than me. So my thing is, like some people say put in the contract if they get hurt in the Pro-Am, all that stuff, woo-woo. But like you said, outside of this injury, I haven't really heard of an injury of a star player during the offseason like this in the Pro-Am game. It's entertaining. It's a way for them to keep their reps going throughout the offseason. And it actually promotes the game of basketball at the end of the day. It really does. It gets these players who watch the game, but they only know about these superstars. But you hear about these average players coming to the Pro-Am, and they like somebody dropped like 70-something points the same day LeBron them played. I forgot who it was. I can't think right now, but somebody dropped somebody dropped like 70-something points. Some dude I don't even know. But guess what? When they come to your town and they ball out, when you watch them play, you looking for that player now. So if I'm listen, like Carl said in the chat, there's a lot of Malachi Flynn, y'all. There's a lot of star players who actually play, right? Who actually play these private runs that we see on YouTube and some that we don't see. They do it all the time. So at the end of the day, you can't stop a Hooper from playing basketball during the summer. It's not going to happen. Now putting it in the contract, it's not going to happen because this is a players' league. All right. The first time a GM is going to try to put down the contract, they're going to be like, nah, let me go somewhere else. All right. NFL is different. It's not ran by the players, ran by quarterbacks, but not by the average player. NBA, players got the power. So they won't be able to put down their contract. So I know the OKC. Now, this could be a blessing in disguise for this dude because he can sit out for a year. He can get bigger. Ben Simmons sat out for a year, came back. Look at him now. I mean, not now, but before he did his stuff with Philly, 2 times.
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin and Ben Simmons both won Rookie of the Year after red shirt in 1 year. So this might be a blessing in disguise for him, and get him a chance to get bigger. Whenever I look at a small person, I think about Giannis. But you made a good comment how Giannis got them broad shoulders. KD ain't got that. And so and same thing with this kid right here. So but he still can gain some muscle, gain some size to like fatten them that his body up. Can't do too much on the lower body because he got to rehab his foot. But at least the upper body he can gain some meat because he's a wing player at the end of the day. He's like KD, he's a wing player.
Yeah, he is. But still, if you wanna be able to last a little longer, like KD not the same size he was when he got into the league. He put a little bit more muscle on, but not a lot, but enough to be able to still be able to be who he is. Now, I'm not saying that Chet is going to be able to be KD, but I mean, if you want to be able to at least continue to be a starter and be a good player in this league and possibly an all-star player, then you're going to have to make some changes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we're in agreement with that one. We're in agreement with that. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Before we wrap it up, all right, you can get our last words. Make sure y'all like this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, share this video with somebody that y'all know personally. Listen, when we come off this live, you can go back and rewatch it. and we will be posting individual videos of each segment. All right. So like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this video with somebody that you know personally. I appreciate you guys for using our comment section. We saw all the comments you guys put down, and we appreciate y'all for tuning in and staying from beginning to the end, staying for one segment. Anytime you log in and watch this, if it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, we highly appreciate that. Make sure you follow us on all platforms. I Refuse to Lose Sports. On Twitter, it's R2L Sports because it was a long name. Like we couldn't make that a Twitter name. Right? They said it was too many characters. All right. So make sure y'all follow us on these platforms. All right. So go ahead, Dave. Give us some last words.
Last words. Just ready for football season. Ready to see what Trey Lance is going to do this year. Honestly, just excited to see how the AFC West is going to go. I think that's going to be the most competitive division in football. And then sooner or later, basketball season is going to start. I know Miami hasn't made any moves, but I still think we'll do good this year. Hopefully, we're able to go get Donovan Mitchell. Hopefully.
Y'all, I got y'all being really good this year, 49ers. Winning y'all division, by the way. Got y'all winning y'all division. Got y'all making some noise. All right, I'm gonna get my playoff prediction on that stuff, but I got y'all looking good this year. And AFC West, Derek Carr MVP. Just know that. Derek Carr MVP this year.
Okay.
Y'all heard it here. Derek Carr MVP. So when that happens, look for me. All right, so.
And when it don't, look for him too.
You said what?
And if it don't happen, look for him too.
It will happen. It will happen. I saw a video. Somebody said Derek Carr will have a better year than Tom Brady. I'm like, yo, I said he gonna win MVP. Somebody else said that. I was like, whoa, okay, this will make me more confident. So we will see though. Time will tell. That's what I love about sports. At the end of the day, you gotta play it out. You gotta play it out. Anybody got the dreads? Y'all definitely making the playoffs.
Hey, I think that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't know what made him do that, but
you said Lamar wrong. Hey, tomorrow I said Derek Carr won MVP. He said you said Lamar wrong. I caught that. That was good. That was good. All right, y'all. That's all we have for you guys today. Appreciate you, Dave, for coming on, and we'll see y'all at the next episode. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.